What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of According to Blake. I know you guys are might be Blake, there was no episode last week. We're switching up the cadence a little bit. I'm going to start doing every other week for a few reasons. And I'm actually going to have a guest on here who is a fantastic podcaster to really talk about how much goes into podcasting. Pushing out an episode every single week of a podcast is truly machine level behavior. And while I absolutely love doing this pod, doing it every week, realistically right now at the stage that the pod is at, is just not realistic, given the current situation. So it's going to be every other week. And then if we adjust, one thing about me is I'm very, if my life and my career is not proof of it, I'm very malleable. Okay, for what we need in this moment, we're going to do every other week. And if we get to a point where it's now we need weekly, then we're going to switch back to weekly. I'm not somebody that's super hung up on things like that. So we will be doing every other week for now. We will still do the interviews. We'll still do the solos, but it also just gives, more time, especially for the solos, more time to add more content, talk about certain things. Even though today is going to be so heavily Love Island, this episode probably could be categorized as a Love Island episode, because I feel we're probably... Anyway, we'll get to that. But yes, so that is what we are going to do. If you are watching, you might have noticed the hair is a little different. I am, in fact, this is my summer hair. I posted about it on TikTok. You guys know every time I do something kind of new with my hair, I post about it on TikTok. And it's interesting, today I was coming in, it's very frizzy right now because this weather is awful. I don't know what is going on. And the weather is bad everywhere in the States. Everywhere it's rainy, everywhere it's bad. The only girlies that I know that are loving the weather where they're at right now are the girls in Europe, which I have such bad can FOMO right now. I was supposed to go and then last minute fell through. Anyway, so I say all that to say, I posted about it on TikTok, and you guys know I'm very transparent about my hair. I'm very just transparent on TikTok. And so I posted on TikTok, and one of my followers, and she didn't say it maliciously. One thing about me, as somebody who puts out their life for public consumption for a living, I don't get offended when people give me feedback, so long as it's said in a respectful manner. And she did. She commented and she said, Blake, sis, you need to give the hair a rest. You need to do your own hair. Wear your own hair and give the weave a rest. Give your hair a break. And I made a video about this once before, but I think that it is a topic that I do think is worth discussing. And it's that I think for so long, my hair and how the health of everything around it just was so extra. It was so heavy. It was so emotional. And I got to a point where it was it's just hair. And it took me a really long time to get to the point in my life where I was it's just hair. And it was at that point that I just didn't care. If I fry it, dye it, and lay it to the side, it's just hair and it'll grow back. I have the resources. I have a great hairstylist. I know great hair vendors. I'll throw a wig on it if it all falls out. I have reached the point in my life where my hair does not run me. We look at people of different races and they can experiment with their hair freely all the time. And I'm not here to say that our hair is different. We can't do that, right? It's our hair does have to be cared for differently and things like that. But there's so much pressure on Black women around not being able to just have fun with our hair. I have a lot of fun with my hair, and I love having fun with my hair. And I think that we should, I think back to this time, and y'all know I love my mother. This is not, it's more indicative of the times of Black women. And so when it comes to Black women, but I had to maybe have been in middle school, and I would sneak and I would turn the stove on. And I would put the hot comb on the stove and I would be hot combing. And my mom noticed, she was like, your edges are breaking off. She was like, why are your edges breaking off? I can't figure out why your edges are breaking off. And y'all, they were fried because I was leaving it on too long. I wasn't bringing the heat down on the towel or waiting for it to cool down. And I was taking that hot comb straight off the stove and I was touching it straight to the hair. You can imagine what my edges looked like. They were these fried nubs. And she conspired with my hairstylist to lie to me and say that they had to take clippers and shave my edges back to like here. And they did it to like teach me a lesson. And I remember she pulled out the clippers. At first I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I remember the hairstylist pulled out the clippers, turned them on in the hair salon, and I burst into tears. Like I am pretty sure I collapsed to the ground in the hair salon. She was never going to take the clippers to my edges, as I learned later on. But that is the tie, right? That I used to have to hair, right? It used to, the state of my hair used to be able to make or break my day, catapult my mood. And don't get me wrong, it's like, there's a reason I care about my hair. Clearly, y'all see, I don't play about hair, but it feels so good to be at a point in life where I'm just like, everybody's like, Blake, how do you maintain your hair? The video that I'm referencing that I made on TikTok, everybody's like, Blake, how do you maintain your hair? I said, I fry it. I said, heat damage. Heat damage is how I keep my edges straight. I fry my edges. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to fry their edges, but what I'm saying is like, and again, this is absolutely no hate or malice to that commenter, because it is, we are programmed to say like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I'm not saying that like the hair doesn't need a break, but I'm saying as for Blake ain't taking a break. I love my weave. My weave is going to always be in. And it's not like I haven't tried wearing my natural hair. I'm a girl who is busy all the time. I am not tending to my hair every day. And it's like for so long, it's like we were working for our hair rather than making our hair work for us. And I am in the era of making my hair work for me. When my hair fell out, I don't know if y'all saw that video on TikTok that I posted that everybody saw when K-tips were coming straight out my hair. And everybody was like, how did you not crash out and cry? Because it's hair and it will grow back. I've taken out weave, accidentally cut a braid. How did you not freak out? Because it's hair and it will grow back. I'm just not tied to it. That was a good way to start it off. Like, so to the ladies, like, I hope that this summer y'all get experimental with the hair. If you want to, I hope you do whatever you want to with your hair. If you want to dye it bright purple and blue, then I hope you dye your hair bright purple and blue. Make sure you get you some K18 and some Olaplex and care for it well. I know that we are in times right now where Black women, we are so tired. We are so heavy. If you anything like me, you crying more than you've ever cried. It's the heaviest you've ever felt. Dye that hair purple and blue. There are bigger things in this world to worry about than a little heat damage or a little frizz or a little color damage. That's my little hair soapbox to kick it off. Speaking of mental health, I do hope that you all are doing okay. I know that the vast majority of listeners and viewers here are a part of the 92%, and things have just been really bad since we last spoke on the solo. Of course, everything happening with Ice has been just unfathomable. Every single day I wake up freaking out, scared. It's so interesting because I'm going to a big block party this weekend, and it's so scary because like my thought is like, because they're just picking up anybody. You don't have to be undocumented. You don't have to be a felon. You just have to not be white. And it was so crazy because as I was thinking about it, I got so excited and I was like, I'm going to be outside this weekend. I'm going to be outside tomorrow. Tomorrow's Juneteenth as a reference point. And this thought came across me that was like, what if ICE comes? Like that is what we are living in. I am terrified all the time. They're arresting politicians for doing their jobs. They are targeting Democratic cities on purpose. They are not, undocumented citizens, documented citizens, American-born citizens are not getting proper due process. It's just a really, really bad, terrible time. On top of that, the conflict in Iran is now happening, and everything is just bad. Everything is god awful. I remember crying a TikTok the day after the election. And I remember saying that usually in situations throughout my life, my parents were able to say, it's going to be okay. And being a millennial, I have lived in nothing but unprecedented times. And I said in that video, I said, my mom could not tell me that it was going to be okay. My mom nor my dad, when I called them the morning after the election, my mom was in hysterics. It was just so bad. And I feel like we are currently living in the bad. And I feel like it's only going to get worse. So I don't know. Well, we're not going to linger here because I'm all about finding pockets of peace. And I want, according to Blake, to be a reprieve. But I also would be remiss and not, I don't think that as a part of the 92%, I can get through this podcast without speaking about what's happening. So we're going to pivot now. We're going to transition. I told y'all it's not going to be the entire time. Again, I want, according to Blake, to be a happy place for you all. So I want to talk about Love Island. And I feel like we can talk about Love Island this entire episode. And I have a feeling that I'm going to be talking about Love Island throughout this entire episode. So for reference, because Love Island moves really fast and I want you guys to know where I am at when you guys watch this episode. So last night's episode, Jalen was eliminated. Huda and Jeremiah are no longer coupled up. And okay, so where do I even start? So I feel like the reason I want to talk about it too is because I do feel like this is the perfect time to kind of make it a Love Island episode, because in my head, I feel like we are kind of at the half point. As someone who, and this is not to sound like head ass, because I hate people that are like, oh, I've been listening to him, but I have been watching Love Island. Like, I'm an OG UK watcher. I have watched almost every season of US, which is surprising. Like, think about the season with Ocho. Like, I have watched almost every season of Love Island US as well as Love Island UK. So that said, when people are like, oh my God, this is the best season of Love Island. Last season was the best season of Love Island. Absolutely. But if you are loving this season and you love a good Love Island season, I implore you to watch. It's blanking on me because I can't figure out what number it was. UK season, the season, just search not the Ovi season. Search Molly May, Moira, search Molly May and Moira. Just search them, watch their season. Oh. Anyway, back to US. There is, I feel like, so much to unpack. So when it first came, when episode 1 first aired, I immediately was like, here we go, because it was so clear, and I still stand on this, that the producers tried to recreate PPG. And they, down to the way that the girls looked, like, when we think about Janae, Serena, and Leah, and the way that they look, like physically look, and we look at Huda, Alondria, and Shelly, I immediately knew, I said, oh, okay, I know exactly what they're trying to do here. They're trying to create another trio. And it seemed, of course, in the beginning like that was what they were doing, but Huda started to show her ass immediately. And it's so interesting too. I tell people all the time, people are always like, who are you, like, who do you stan, Blake? Who do you stan? And the answer is nobody. And that's not to be self-righteous or anything like that, but being somebody who has been in the industry for a long time, not just in the creator space. I'm talking about when I was in editorial, I was around celebrities all of the time. It becomes very demystified just standing somebody, because you quickly realize, like, okay, either this person is rude or this person is this person this. So I don't say anybody. So it was very bizarre to me the way that Huda had such stands immediately. Like, by episode 2, it was girls willing to die about it. Like, she was getting the edits and the clips, the clip, the clip montages all over TikTok. I was so confused. It did not take her but 3 to 4 episodes to begin to show her ass, and everybody shifted. It's so interesting to watch. This really could be like some sort of study on the way that people will love you and hate you so fast, because Huda's arc is absolutely insane. So I think it's important to first talk about how turned off I was by people's reaction to Alondra telling Huda, what episode was that? Maybe episode 2? It had to have been like episode 2, which to me justified Alondra even more, maybe 2 or 3, where she told Huda to chill after the recoupling, because it just was not that deep. And we saw the way that Alondra was received when all she told Huda to do was calm down. She didn't tell her anything else. Huda begins to cry. Of course she does. She does all the tears. She gives us all of those things. And I think that has set the precedence. I literally just saw a thread when I ran to the restroom right before we started filming. And I saw a thread that said, I don't think that Shelly and Alondria are scared of Huda. I think that they are scared of how they will be perceived if they say something to Huda. And I think that the perfect example of that was the way that Alondria was perceived when she told Huda to chill early on, right? And I think that has kind of set the tone for the way that the girls in the house have been able to, the Black women in the house, well, Shelly and Alondria and Amaya, but she's a different story. We're going to touch on her. Sweet girl. She's growing on me. Have chosen to move with her, right? And so we look at last night's elimination when Jalen was eliminated, and we see that everybody stood behind her. And I was perplexed, mind boggled. Y'all, we came together in a way that we could not come together in November. And however, we're going to... the election was rigged. It's always going to come back to the election. But we came together as a country in a way that we could not do in November, and voted and did what we needed to do and did what we needed to do. At first, I thought that we had betrayed Hannah, and now Hannah's so into Pepe so fast, she don't even give a damn. But we came together, and twice, the Islanders had the chance to do the right thing, and they did not. I am mind boggled. And so that's the thing. The first time, okay, fine. It makes sense. They didn't know what hit them either. Alondria told her, this must mean America's trying to warn you. The second time this happened, and Jeremiah split from her, and Huda was yet again back in the final two. I wish that the Islanders would have thought a little bit more. Zach is thinking. I wish that they would have thought a little more and said, okay, this is not a coincidence, because one thing that we have decided as America and decided as Love Island voters is anytime that we are in control, the goal up until this point is to get Huda off. We got Miss... not in the words or the sound of Jesse Wu, I will vote for Donald Trump. We got Miss What's-Her-Face who was saying the N-word out of there easy. We need to get Austin out, and we need to get Huda out. And I don't know what more we can do as a people, because the Islanders are losing it. Speaking of, I say all that to say, I think a lot of I think the women are afraid of how they will be perceived if they say something to Huda, which is why I love that it seems like by the time this comes out, I do think that Sierra and her might come to blows, because Sierra is sick of her shit. I also think that what contributes to that is the fact that she is coupled up with Nick. And so I think that because she is coupled up with Nick, they are more than likely having conversations that we're not seeing. And so I have a strong feeling that by the time this comes out on Monday, because I think we have how many more episodes? We have tonight's episode, which is Wednesday night's episode. I think we skip Thursday after Sun is on Friday. I know we have Sunday. So we might have 3 or 4 more episodes before this episode airs. But I am confident that Sierra is maybe going to start saying something to her. And it seemed like, at least from the preview, that Shelly and Alondria are starting to feel like that. Or not have been feeling like that, but are happy that maybe Sierra said it. And it speaks to, again, the way that Black women... or, how non-phenotypically Black women, because I am not sure what Sierra's race is. I do think she is Black or half Black. I think she's Black. I could be completely wrong. Don't shoot the messenger. I think she is, but it is a testament to the way that non-Black and non-phenotypically Black women can move about spaces in ways that Black women can't. The last time Alondria spoke her mind, Huda broke down into tears and made herself the victim. And so I do hope that Sierra does use her voice, begins to stand up, against Huda. Nick is already he already checked out. Austin is true. I don't like Austin, but Austin is truly over her shit too. And so I hope that with Sierra saying something, it can be the start to Alondria and Shelly being able to say something, because I know that they feel a type of way, because I can see them. I see them. Speaking of, we'll move from Huda, because I don't really think that anybody that's watching it, no, like the behavior is triggering. I think that it is 100% accurate when people say that if it was a man treating a woman like this, then we would be having a completely different discussion here about abuse. And it's so crazy that Huda has me agreeing with a man. Now I want to say, no, I don't think Jeremiah is anybody fantastic, but what I do think is that he is scared of Huda, as are most people in the house. And I think that he has not, however, he hasn't wavered in voting her off, making it clear that he doesn't want Jeremiah with her. And it's only taken a few days. That's the thing. I always say, when you think you crazy about something, and this is not because a lot of y'all are crazy, but sometimes when you think you crazy, just sit for a second. Because 9 times out of 10 is somebody else who feels the way you do, and it's all coming. And that's what I feel like is happening right now with the Huda situation. So I really do hope that Shelly and Alondra, I just hope that the tides turn. And I just hope, because it also seems like production is not on Huda's side. I know for a fact, if she makes it past Casa Amor into movie night, that's a big if. That's a big if, because a lot of people, you know, me, I understand this television and I understand this entertaining. So I think that I am better able to maybe compartmentalize, but there are a lot of people, and rightfully so, because who am I to say, you know, what somebody's behaviors don't trigger, you know, should or shouldn't trigger in you. But there are a lot of people gunning for Huda for production to kick her off, the same way they cut off Miss I Say the N-Word on podcasts. Like, there are a lot of people gunning for her to be kicked off by production. And so, and it seems like from the way that production is handling it, even Ariana, which we will get to, because Ariana, the woman that you are, we'll detour. Ariana Maddox. You want to talk about revenge body? You want to talk about revenge? She has looked so damn good. And shout out to Emily Min, who is her stylist. Such a fan of her work. Me and her are mutuals. And I literally just commented today and I say, you don't miss. She has, Ariana looks absolutely fantastic. But anyway, even Ariana makes comments. You guys should listen to Ariana when she's in the group, when she's in the mix. Listen to her, because she is saying how she feels, to the point even that when people were getting on Alondra, this girl made this video talking about Alondra when her and Huda had their situation. And Ariana, somehow I assume the video popped up on her For You page. She commented on it, we're Team Alondra over here. Y'all should listen to what Miss Maddox is saying. Production don't like Huda either. But I think, again, as somebody who is no stranger to how reality TV works, production though is not playing. Like, production knows that Huda is really good TV, at least for now. And, you know, it's the same thing when, you know, Leah had said after their season that they didn't want her and Miguel to be together. Like, they didn't want them to couple up. Production knows what is going to work and what is going to keep a season going. But I'm like, okay, we have enough chaos in the house. Speaking of, we have Ace in the house. Ace is enough chaos in the house. Ace, so I, of course, knew of Ace before from his dancing videos, and I just love them. They brought such happiness. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think at one point he has of course a huge demographic in Pakistan, but if I'm not mistaken, at one point, like, he was doing some of the dance classes to bring joy to some of those people in Palestine that are being impacted by the conflict over there right now. He did it for deaf children. He did it so when Ace came in, I was like, oh my God, love Ace. Ace. What are they saying now? You cannot spell menace without Ace. Ace is a bona fide menace. Ace also did not come there for love. Ace came there to be the producer's pet. He is a producer's dream. Ace came there to cause chaos, and that is exactly what he has done. Now, on one hand, I would be all for this, but I feel like he's been playing in Shelly's face. And Shelly and Alondria, it should come as no surprise to anyone listening to this podcast that Shelly and Alondria are my two favorites. And I am gunning for them and whatever mate that they have to make it to the end. I feel like Ace has been playing in Shelly's face far too long. And while, yes, I am happy that they are coupled up just because we have to get Austin out of here, I still want better for Shelly. I want somebody who knows what they want. I also think, to that point, I do think that one of Ace's hangups with Huda, I think Ace's hangup with Huda and Jeremiah is far less about whatever he's saying about like, this isn't real, y'all aren't being real, y'all aren't being real, and far more about the fact that I think that he is pissed that he never got his opportunity to shoot his shot at Huda. I think that is what's going on. I think that Ace, and I can say this as a woman who has been a victim of a short man before. I think that Ace has short man syndrome. And I think that Ace and his ego can simply not believe that Huda would come in there and not want to at least try something with him. I also say that because somebody was saying, and again, all these people from the past pop up or something like that, but I guess maybe I missed this. Some people had said that I think at some point, either during the episode or somebody from Ace's past popped up and said that his physical type is Huda. For those that aren't watching, that are listening, I just did an aggressive eye roll. And so I think that what is happening is I think that for a while he thought that maybe he could infiltrate the Huda thing, just because, what did they say? He thinks he's Christopher Columbus, Dora the Explorer. He just always wants to explore his options. I think that he is much more pissed that he never had a chance to shoot his shot at Huda the way he wanted to than he cares about how she treats Jeremiah. It is an obsession that he has with their relationship, and it is very strange and it is very unhinged. And while I do think that he is fantastic television, and I do agree that he is keeping the ball rolling on calling bullshit on Huda and Jeremiah, it is obsessive. It is slightly obsessive, and yes, I am confused by it. Going back to Shelly, I was hoping so bad. I was praying so bad for a bombshell for Shelly and for Alondria. They bring in a bombshell that I just knew that Alondria was going to absolutely love, which was Jalen. And it seemed like for a second she said the man was exactly his type. And that brings me to another point. It was really disheartening. Now, he is no Ovi Soko. Those who watch Love Island know he is no Ovi when it comes to a bombshell. But it was very unnerving to kind of see the way that particularly the Black community was speaking about how Jalen looked. I think Jalen was very handsome. Like I said, he's no Ovi, but I thought Jalen was very handsome. And on top of that, he seemed 100% like Alondria's type. And on top of that, he seemed genuinely into her, which Taylor does not. And on top of that, he is a Southern man. He was a gentleman. That was that man's first time in Fiji. He was so excited. That was his first time on the beach when he was with Alondria on that date. I feel like there was like, we threw Alondria like a safety net, and she chose Taylor again. And so to that, I must say, there have to be conversations that she and Taylor are having that maybe we are not seeing, because I feel like they have the chemistry of like two ants. So to watch her pick him over Jalen was befuddling to me. And I'm not saying I like Taylor. I think Taylor seems really sweet. He seems like he's really well liked in the villa. And I will say they didn't vote him off. And he did that, him and that eye thing that him and Nick were doing was really funny. I think he's funny. But I did think that Alondria deserved better. But perhaps that is what she wants. Well, that is what she wants. She chose Taylor over Jalen. Justice for Jalen. I want them to bring him back in like Casa Amor. I just think they should bring him back. Like, I really like him. He seemed like a gentleman. I do slightly think that Alondria fumbled, but maybe not. Like, Alondria, of anybody in the house, she seems the most grounded. She seems the most pragmatic. She seems like she really has a lot of sense. I love her. That is my girl. So maybe she's seeing something we don't see. And maybe Taylor really does worship the ground she walks on, and maybe she feels the same about him. And perhaps it will carry through. But we have to get a bombshell for Shelly. And I just posted about it on Threads. I said, I fear that she will not meet her king until Casa Amor. But the issue is, that's if she makes it that long. Now, the thing is, production would never, and that's what I wanted to respond to these threads. Production would never allow for Ace and Shelly to get voted off. I'm here to let you guys know. I know enough about the manipulation of production to let you guys know that they will not, at least now, Ace and Shelly are making it to Casa Amor and they're making it back. I'm here to let you know that is 100% going to happen. I know for a fact that production is probably going to also try to get Huda to make it through Casa Amor, because they probably want her to be on movie night. Because in movie night, not only can they expose kind of some of the her and Jeremiah dynamics, I 100% think that there is going to be opportunity. That is where they're going to really try to implode, if it doesn't already, the women's relationship with Huda, because I know that is going to be when they show how Huda has spoken about the women. And I think that we are going to see clips that we have never seen before, all those things. Production is smart, especially Love Island production. And so I just know that is what is happening here. The reason, like, production, it's also so interesting. I would love to be like, okay, the villa's fine. I would love to be in the back, in the production rooms, seeing what's happening, because I would love to see, especially because they have to move so fast. They have to be so nimble. They have to have a new challenge here, a new challenge there, because it edits in a day. Like, they really have a day turnaround. I think they said that in reality, I think we're maybe 3 to 4 to 5 days behind what is actually happening. So they have to be so nimble, and it increases with days. So I think by the time it ends, we probably will be about a week behind what is actually happening. Oh no, because that part is live. I think right now, though, we're 4 to 5 days behind. Anyway, it's just so interesting to see how production is going to keep flipping this, because I know for a fact they're going to keep putting Hood in position to be eliminated, to see what the Islanders are going to do. And I'm going to be honest, I am not sure if they are going to do the right thing. Like, I really am hoping that they do, but it's giving that they're scared. But I'm really hoping the Sierra, we are counting on you. I know you can't hear this. You don't get a phone for a month, but I'm here to let you know that we need you to do it. You and Nick, you convert the girls. Nick already got the guys, even though Ace stood behind Huda. Now, I don't think, though, that was because he wanted Huda to stay. I think that it is because he wants Taylor and Alondra together. And he was like, I can't do my boy like that, so I got to get Jalen out of here, because so long as Jalen is still on the villa, there's a chance that Alondra's head would turn. They're fine. When Huda reached back, she's so dramatic, reached back to give the hand like, thank you. And Ace said, hell no. And he said, that's not me just saying that. He said out of his mouth, he would not grab her hand, and said, hell no. Anyway, I need a bombshell for Shelly, and I need them to have a couple options for her. I need them to give her a few options. You know who I know, though, is going to come back from Casa Amor with somebody new, because she be hot in the pants. Hannah is just trying to vibe. Speaking of hot in the pants, you guys, controversial take. However, when I posted it on Threads, it was received half and half. Amaya is growing on me. And let me explain why. Do I think she's unhinged? Yes, but it makes for good television. Like, is her crying not like the best sound clip now? They're using the clip everywhere. It's like an audio bite everywhere. Is she nuts? Sure. She's a Dominican girl from the Bronx. I think she's from the Bronx. I think that's what they said. She's a Dominican girl from the Bronx. Of course, she got a little extra to her. However, she's not mean. The conversation that she had with Hannah before the recoupling, she did not have to have. And she did it anyway. She came to her. She said, I want to let you know, he's trying to pursue something with me. And I let him know that I think he's being impulsive. She did not owe Hannah that conversation. And well, let me not say she didn't owe Hannah that conversation. Hannah would have never given her that conversation, right? She never would have given her that courtesy. I think that while Huda goes around talking about she's a girl's girl and all of these things, who is an actual girl's girl is Amaya. Amaya is actually a girl's girl. I think that she's a little unhinged, but I think that she is actually a girl's girl. And I think that her and Austin make the most sense of any couple in there right now, which is crazy. One thing that Love Island did, the producers did, they were really good at finding unhinged people. They were really terrible at finding love matches. Like, they not matching. There is not a single, at least we got some unhinged stuff with season 6, but there were love matches. Like Serena and Cordell, I still go back just to watch the energy between them, the sparks. There ain't no sparks with nobody. Nobody. No couple gives me the fanny flutters. Not a single one. But the couple that makes the most sense together is Austin and Amaya, which is absolutely insanity. So I hope that they do something for the girls. I'm really praying because this is it's not working. I think Alondra, I would love to see Alondra with somebody that she has real chemistry with. She's too tea. Have you guys been seeing how Kalani has been posting about Alondra and Shelly? Like, who is not in love with them? They look like real life Bratz dolls. Like, stunning face cards, don't decline. They have sense. Like, they are all around like how we felt about Serena and Janae. Like, I'm standing 10 toes behind them. And Serena and Janae have not upset me since. So I have a feeling that I'm going to feel the exact same way about Alondra and Shelly. That said, I guess Sierra and Nick, but I don't even think about that. Like, can we see some black love to Leighton on the island? I would really love to see that. So nonetheless, by the time this episode comes out, I think there would have been 3 or 4 more episodes. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I feel like by the next time we talk about this, because there's going to be a guest next episode, which will be in 2 Mondays from now, I feel like by the time we revisit this for another solo, I think by then Casa Amor will be happening. We'll be in the thick of Casa Amor. They might even be back. So we're gonna see. Nonetheless, Love Island is giving me everything I need. I went on a date on Sunday, and before you ask, girl, no, I'm just been going on dates. You guys will be proud of me. I've been going on dates. Like, I have been going on dates. None of them are my king, but I've been going on dates and really enjoying myself. But the other night, the guy from the date was late, and I literally texted my mom and I was like, Love Island comes on tonight. Like, why? How dare he be late? Like, Love Island, I get excited. Yesterday, I rushed home. I had to be on a panel. Then me and the group went to Soho House to have a quick meal. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to be home by 8:30 just in time for Love Island. So needless to say, every single day I am fed, but I would like to see some love. See, I just loved season 6 because it was the perfect amount of chaos. Leah gave us chaos. Kaylor gave us chaos. Not to the point where anybody was scared in the villa, though. That might be it. Like, the people were scared. The way that Huda thought she could charge. See, and that's the thing. Huda couldn't do. Never mind. So, yeah, no, needless to say, it's the best. But yeah, your girl, as we pivot out of that conversation, yes, I have been going on dates. I resolved, if you guys saw the post on TikTok a few months ago, I was like, I'm just going to go on fun dates, right? Like, even with its men where I'm like, I know this is not my king, I'm just going to go on dates. And so I've just been dating. You know, my thing is like dating is a numbers game, right? And so it's like the more dates you go on, eventually they're not all going to be duds. And they haven't been duds. I went on dates in LA when I was in LA. I went on some dates, like plural dates, y'all. When I was in LA, I went on some dates. I went to DC for Father's Day, went on a date that was Monday night, actually. Went on a date then. Like, I've just been going on dates, trying to cast the net wide and hoping that something will will arise. I feel like every time I talk about dating, it's the same thing. It's like, it's ain't much movement, but I'm very outside. So tomorrow's Juneteenth, going to Harlem. It's been a while since I've been up in Harlem. You know, we'll see what we can catch up there. Then going to Brooklyn on Saturday for a big block party. We'll see what's there. You know, like we're just trying. Like, it's like, we're just gonna see kind of what happens. And I'm gonna always be a hopeless romantic. So it's like, as long as I am on this earth, I'm gonna always be a romantic. Speaking of love, or not, or yes or not, I do just have to give a shout out. Ginny and Georgia this season is so good. If you guys have not watched previous seasons of Ginny and Georgia, I think that is the perfect thing that you should binge. Ginny and Georgia is such a well-written show, and I think I'm loving it even more this season because they have fully very much so leaned into the fact that, you know, Ginny is also half black. Like, and I think that was kind of missing. Yes, we would always see Zion, which is her dad, but I think this season to see the dynamic with her dad's girlfriend, and again, the reference with the dad's mother, and the reference again to the HBCUs, and the fact that this, what I love too, it's just very thoughtful because you can tell that they truly have black writers in there, because Ginny this season also has black friends, and she's not trying to mesh her friend groups, and they haven't made it seem like it's forced or she hangs out with one friend group, she hangs out with the other. It's just very thoughtful, and it's very just good and nice to see. So if you guys are not watching Ginny and Georgia, I absolutely suggest it because it's just really good TV. There's a lot of good TV on. I will say that, like, with all of the distractions of the world happening right now, there is so much good TV out there that I'm like, I'm doing okay. Like, I have good distractions because unfortunately my timelines is like doom scrolling. Thank God I have like a friend. If you guys are a doom scroller like me, I strongly suggest having a doom scrolling friend. So mine, shout out to my girl Layla, that is my doom scrolling friend. And we'll just check in on each other. And she's like, because every single time, Blake, that I see a post about something about the world ending, you reposted it, and vice versa. And we just kind of doom scroll and and do that together. Of course, we talk about other things. She's my actual friend, but like, I suggest getting a doom scrolling friend to kind of help you through this time. Like somebody who is equally as aware as you and all of those things, because it has really helped. And it has been so great to have her kind of just there to help. So yeah, it's been an eventful few weeks, guys. It has been a really eventful few weeks. I've been doing tons of travel. I'm doing even more travel. July is going to be absolutely insane. If you guys will be at Essence Fest, I will be there. So comment here if you guys are going to be at Essence Fest. I will be there with 1-2-ish brands. It's always interesting because, like, last year I went with 3 brands, but it's always interesting. It's like, what brand is taking you out there? What brand are you doing? There's a lot of opportunities at Essence Fest. And so I will be at Essence Fest. So if you are going to be there, let me know. Make sure that you comment. I also have said it before. If you guys don't know, I do work with Amazon Live quite a bit, and I do tons of their live streams. So if you guys all you have to do is just search Blake Newby Amazon Live, and all of my live streams will pop up. It has been so wonderful working with them. I go into the Amazon offices. I film in studio. We do all of the live streams. It's been great. Like, too. And it's also been, as I've been on this, I'm at this weird, it's so interesting when people perceive, and I don't want to call it imposter syndrome, because to me it's not imposter syndrome, but just when people perceive what is happening in your life differently from what you perceive it as, because everybody's been like, Blake, you are so busy. You're working all the time. And it's crazy because I'm like, and this goes against what I had said a few episodes back, where I was like, I want to work less. Like, I don't feel like I'm working enough. Like, I don't feel like I'm visible enough. But I think when you hit that 30 point, there are just a lot of pressures in life in general that kind of hit. And I think that some of the pressures that I am experiencing right now are like the pressures of, like, my biggest goal, as I've told you guys, is like to be on TV. I want to be hosting, like, they should let me host After Sun. They should let me host After Sun. You know, Ariana Maddox, she got that down pat, but they should let me host After Sun. But, you know, really want to be on TV. And yes, I'm hosting everything else. But it's like when you're not doing exactly what you want to do when you feel like you should want to do it. And it's interesting because it's like especially on the episode about like my professional trajectory, I said that like my life has been perfect alignment and all of those things, and it still is. But I'm kind of like, can we hurry up? Can we hurry up with a few things? Can we hurry up with the husband? Can we hurry up with the dream job? Can we hurry up with all these things? I say all that to say it's been fantastic working with Amazon. It has been the opportunity to be on these streams all of the time. Like, you know, they say all the time when I go in there, like Paige DeSorbo got her start at Amazon Live. In not her full start, but like she was at Amazon Live before she had blown up and gone super big. So it's like, you know, I'm really trying to trust the process, but sometimes I'm like, can we speed up this process? Like I told you guys on the episode, like I love working. I love working. I'm like, put me to work. Put me to work. Throw me in front of something. Let me speak. And I can speak on a myriad of topics too. So I'm like, you know, but yeah, I just did a panel for Invesco on sports and finances. Cause yeah, I can talk about Love Island and I can talk about a little sports, a little finance. So I've been doing tons of things. So if you guys, and I've been recapping it. So if you guys haven't seen, it's on TikTok if you guys want to recap. But yeah, I feel like we have come to the close. I told you guys this was going to be a mostly Love Island episode, and I stayed very true to that. But thank you guys again for hanging out with me. Next episode, we will have a fantastic guest. And you know, that's another thing. Like I'm trying to be too with the bi-weekly, be super intentional with the guests. We've had fantastic guests. If you guys have not gone back and kind of checked out like the guests that we have had such fantastic guests, but I really do want to be more thoughtful of getting some of the people that I love, my friends, more of my friends in here because I love the conversations with friends and really just kind of doing that. I'm really thinking out loud here, but of course I'm open to suggestions. Like According to Blake is so new. Like this is a baby. We're just kind of figuring her out. So again, always open to suggestions, as I said before, but I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. This tweet said, we got Shelly off of Austin right in time for Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right. Thanks for rocking with me. Bye.